Hi, thank you for watching this video. I am Reg Thomas, and today I'm going to talk about interactive KPI visualization and make a demonstration based on the Sunburst that I developed on my own. Our topic today is how can we turn data into insight using efficient graphical reports. So basically in the company we've got loads of data spread in many systems that we generally turn into knowledge by consolidating and aggregating in a data warehouse. From this data warehouse, we can extract the reports that build the information that can be used by business people, by technical people. And from this information, we build insight for the decision makers through decision papers and high-level reports. So basically, that's the job of analysts to do this. What I'm proposing now is to add one more possibility and supporting at the same time analysts and decision makers with advanced data visualization by building interactive graphical reports so that we can bring more information into one single view. In order to have a practical demonstration, we will use one basic scenario. So let's imagine that we are in a telco company selling mobile, fixed TV and bundle services, and we want to monitor the sales. We want to measure the performance of the sales not only in volumes but also in quality. And therefore we will segment our sales using two main criteria that are sales channel and products. So our challenge consists in bringing a set of predefined KPIs into one single view representing all the combinations of sales channel and products. I decided to use a Sunburst as data visualization to create this report. So let's say a few words about the Sunburst. For this description, we will take the ARPU, average revenue per user, as standard KPI, and we will consider our example and the segmentation first with sales channel and then with products. What you see on the screen are the first two layers of the Sunburst. So in the center, we've got the global value of the KPI for the whole collection of data that we have. So here I put it aside, but we've got 38,570 sales in our analysis, and they are producing an average revenue per user of €22.66 as global. Now if we split it in sales channel, basically that's what we get with this first ring. So the ring shows the three sales channels: telesales, shop and online. And we've got two information in every one of these arcs. The size of the arc represents the number of sales, and inside we've got the value of the KPI. Now if we start again developing our Sunburst from the middle using all our segmentations, we will find first in the center our global KPI, then the first ring with the sales channel, the second ring with the sales channel detail, the third one with the product family, and the last one with the products. I didn't put any labels there because it wouldn't be readable. So we have a full mapping of our segments into one data visualization, but there's still something missing to make it usable, and that's a color scale. Talking about KPIs, it's quite easy. You put the best value as green, the worst value as red. That's something we could define, of course, differently. And everything in between will be in the yellow. So let's apply this color scale. And now we've got a full mapping of our segments regarding the KPI, so the average revenue per user. But we are not done yet, because I was talking about interactive graphical reports, and at the moment we are still in a static graphical report. So let's go to the live demo so that you can see what the interaction brings. So that's it. Here is the full screen of the report. On top we've got some static data. So here you could put your company or department logo. In the middle we put something to identify the report. So here Sales and Risk Monitoring December 2015. And here that's also one logo. So nothing very interesting, but now what we've got on the left pane are data sets. So here I decided to take two data sets, organizing the same segments and the same data, either in sales channel and then products, so meaning that the sales channels are in the center of the Sunburst, or in products and sales channel. So here we've got the products in the center and the sales channel around. Then we've got APIs. So here I selected 5 quite easy to understand KPIs. So ARPU, collection rate, so the amount that has been collected 30 days after the due date of the first invoice. Churn rate, so early churn rates when we talk about sales. Cancellation rates, so people who ordered and cancelled before activation of the product. And call center calls, so that's a very good indicator of the risk. There is of course no limitation in the KPIs that can be displayed. So if you've got more advanced KPIs such as early prediction for customer lifetime value or direct cost of a sale, of course it would be great to display them also. Now let's check what we have on the right side. So we've got the color scale that we've seen before. And below we've got two contextual information. So the first one I will leave it for now and explain later. And we've got the mouse over information. So this mouse over information provides complete information when we are on one segment. So here I'll take this segment. So we've got the pass online, partner 3 bundle. We've got the number of sales. We've got the ARPU, the collection rate, the churn rate, the cancellation rate, and the call center call rate for this specific segment. You probably noticed that there's also this bubble displaying the information about the segment, but not with all KPIs, only with the actual selected KPI. There's one thing that I didn't say yet. It's that all of this is displayed in a web browser. And it means that you don't need any specific tool or specific installation in order to use this type of reports. So let's play a bit with interaction now. So we've seen already the mouse over, so that's not much, but still very helpful to check what's in a segment that doesn't have any label. And now we can play a bit with the KPI. So here we are on the ARPU, and we can switch to collection rate, churn rate, cancellation rate, call center calls. And see, it's quite smooth and easy to change from one to another. There's also one more interaction, and it's probably the most important one. It is the zoom. So you can really zoom in one of these segments. Let's take one example. We want to check partner 2. Click on it and it opens. So basically partner 2 takes now the full 360-degree view in the center. And we can now clearly see all the subsegments of partner 2. With one click in the center, we go one level above, so one level and then back to the root with 2 clicks. What's nice is that we can also combine these two interactions. For instance, here we want to say reseller 3 has a good ARPU. Let's check in details. It looks very good, quite light. Let's check the collection rate, and yeah, it's quite clear that we've got a partner that is selling with high value, but that we don't collect the money. And if we want to compare reseller 3 with other resellers from the same sales channel, then we just go one level above, and it becomes very clear that the collection rate of reseller 3 is really bad. So compared to the others that are at 95% collected, reseller 3 has 82% collected. And that would be a very good hint for high-risk reseller. We could of course also check the other KPIs at the same level, but here there's not a huge difference between different resellers. I will not perform a full data analysis right now, but I think we've seen all the functionalities. What we didn't use is perhaps changing the data sets. So it always comes to the root when we change data sets, because of course there's no possibility to jump in one other segment. We have another data organization. So here we would have seen also that it's very nice to use. For instance, so we see that some product categories are quite bad in churn rates, and some are quite bad in cancellation rates. So I think you've got a good idea of what can be done with such tool. So there are no real limits in the domain of application. The only limit is what we can imagine. So I did this example based on sales monitoring and sales management, but it could have been human resources, it could have been finance controlling, So you could have your whole company, your whole cost centers represented in one Sunburst. It could be measuring the success of marketing campaigns. So there are really no limits. Now that we've seen one example of interactive reports that can be built, I'd like to say a few words about my proposal. So first, and that's important, I'm not selling any license or tools. What I'm providing is a complete consulting and development service to turn your static reports into interactive graphical reports. I try to keep a straightforward process for the implementation so that you can get your reports as fast as possible. So how does it usually work? We have a first discussion, we define your needs. I'm supporting, of course, proposing different solutions. And based on our discussion, I can make a proposal. And if it's enacted and we get a commercial agreement, then you can deliver the static report that has to be transformed. I will turn this report into interactive report and deliver it as HTML. Basically from this time, so you can use it freely however you want. The reports can usually be built in 5 to 25 days, so that means that from the commercial agreement you can expect to get your report very quickly. What are the technical assets of the solution? First, it's fully developed, meaning that whatever you want to have and is logically possible on a computer, we can implement it. There's no IT installation necessary and no license costs, meaning that you don't even need to involve your IT department to get such interactive reports. It can work on any device or operating system supporting a compatible browser. So all up-to-date browsers are compatible with SVG, JavaScript and HTML as we use it. But it has to be up to date. And it is a transportable solution. So what I deliver is a set of files, so the transformed data and the HTML files that you can open on any computer afterwards. And it's shareable, so whenever these files are put on a web server, you can share it on a network, so you can share your reports on a network with many people. Last slide for today's presentation. What are the limits? What can we build? What can't we build? I would say that there are only two limits. The first one is what can be seen on the screen. So basically the technology allows more than what can be built on a screen. So that's the only technical limit. But the biggest limit is probably what your imagination allows. So the possibilities are so huge to build new ways of presenting data that the biggest limitation is just what we can imagine. But the possibilities are huge, and you can see on the right side today I only presented a sunburst, but all of these data representations on the right side are possible with the same technology. Thank you for your attention. If you want to contact me, feel free to use the contacts that are on this slide. I wish you a very nice day and I hope we'll talk soon.